Is Christianity a gym or a hospital? What if it were a hospice? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt. I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt. What if we got away from the model of self-improvement, and particularly a moral improvement?
Yes.
And got toward the idea that, oh, wait, you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you give the dying? What do they receive? What's the point of this?
God bless every pastor who does the latter. I don't know how many, I don't even know what percentage. But if they're speaking with the presence of a dying man to dying men and women and children, God bless every single one of them. I don't know how you develop that. I never had a seminary where it was explicitly taught to us, and I don't know about other seminaries. I was at two of them, one liberal, one more conservative. But that, it was, I think, a theme in Eugene Peterson, writing as pastor to pastors. The immediacy of every single time, speak as a dying man to dying parishioners. Wonderful. I don't know how common, probably would scare me to know how rare. But that's the immediacy you find in St. Paul. Christ for you, and even pushing his way toward some sort of decision. If somebody is conquered and becomes a Christian, they find out pretty soon in good catechesis that it was a gift from heaven. It wasn't their own finding. As the Old Testament says, I was found by people who never sought me. Isaiah. But that's explaining how it wasn't really what it looked like. You know, I made a decision for Christ. No, actually, God made a decision for you and then in time pulled it off. That's good catechesis. But that immediacy is a wonderful, wonderful thing if a pastor is operating all the time in front of people with Christianity not as an improvement, but as the answer to death. Yours, mine. If he does that, he's really doing what he's called to do. I would hope that for every Christian parish. I know that's not true, but it's what I'd wish.
I think about the stories in Scripture about people parents who are losing their children.
Oh.
Or have they had just lost their child or something.
Yes.
And you never see Jesus come in there and say, so here's what you need to do. There was this dream that Jacob had, and there was this ladder. So I'm going to need you to go outside. There's going to be a ladder there. Oh. And I'm going to need you to climb that. And it's going to seem endless. But if you climb it long enough, well enough, far enough, then I'm going to be able to do something for you. But until you show me, that's never how he approached it.
No.
There was a dead child there.
Yeah.
And then he treated it like a non-thing, and he was just going to get it handled.
Yes.
And to the point that everybody was like, pfft.
Yeah, I love.
Who does this guy think he is? This kid's dead. What kind of joker does he think he is?
Yep. I love the story of the non-Israelite, the centurion who came and showed up. And his only rationale was, I'm a man of authority. I say to a man, go, and he goes. And I say to him, come, and he comes. I know if you just say the word, my daughter will live. Answer, I haven't found faith like this even in all of Israel. Go, your daughter will live. Or the widow's son at Nain. He fixed it. Even death. If you're looking for somebody who's other than just a prophet with a lot of words, try the Gospels. Try reading the Gospels. There you find much more than just somebody who says, I've got the answer.
Which is get to work.
I love to hear Dr. Horton expounding on Jacob's ladder. Why? Because it was a ladder not for man to ascend, but for God to descend. That cracks it.
It's amazing how the idea that this God would come down and sacrifice himself without us having to do anything
being the problem
is something we fight.
Yep.
We sinners, the old Adam, wants to fight the idea that God is so good that he would do all the work that we would be saved in order that we could not have to worry and have the assurance that we desire, right? Mm-hmm. And it allows us, if you actually have that assurance, which is entirely based on Christ, oh, ye of little faith, like Peter, because I am Peter. If you could actually just trust me, if you just trust me, Peter, who is me, then what it actually allows us to do is not worry so much and focus on our neighbor who's in greater need than I.
Sure. And this, you see this over and over and over again. Peter, I'm greater than your unbelief. Peter, I'm greater than your dying. I'm going to reassign you, or I'm going to forgive you, absolve you, and bring you back in. Who would thunk up a story like that?
Peter, you stupid, faithless little sheep. I'm going to whack you with my shepherd's crook. You're such a terrible little sheep.
Yeah.
But you could see his frustration. It was I really enjoy watching Jesus get frustrated. Awesome.
Yes.
Like, this is a God I could identify with. I mean, anybody who's been in customer service on the phone long enough in any business, you're going to feel like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it just takes patience. These people need help, and sometimes they get in the way of being helped.
Yep.
And this is how it is, life on this planet. And you see Jesus having exactly the same sort of customer service frustration, except on the eternal level. If I could, I'm here to help you, and I'm doing this.
Everything.
All you got to do is trust me.
Yep. That's the hardest thing, but it is. We need to be turned to where we do that. We can't do it. We need God to turn us. It's Jeremiah. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned. King James translation. You see it again and again and again and again on his part. The Bible story is a story of rescue of people who don't want to be rescued. Over and over and over and over again.
You and I have talked in the past about the bones in the desert. I always like returning to this one. What great jumping jacks, spiritually, morally, were the bones in the desert doing?
Right.
So that then the word could be spoken that would raise them out of the ground and make the flesh and the sinew form onto their bones visually. And the way it's described in Scripture is right out of a Hollywood script. I mean, you could imagine that right out of a Marvel movie.
Yeah, preach to these dry bones, O prophet.
And what have those dry bones done? How moral are the dry bones? They were lying there disintegrating. I don't know. It seems kind of immoral if you ask me. They weren't doing a dang thing, which is me and my sin and my wickedness.
Yeah, and we're sort of even worse than that. We're actively against him while we're living. I mean, look at some of the phrases in the New Testament. Enemies of God, haters of God. There's a whole string of these things that describe us in Adam. And they're not very attractive.
Well, they certainly don't make us look good.
Yep.
So, all right, we have a God who intervenes for us, and we fight it, and he intervenes anyway. This is part of the good news for us, not all of it. This part of it is that he loves us in spite of us, and we hope this is helpful for you, and we hope you come back. This has been fun. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.